The Baha'i faith started in 1860s in Persia at the time. It's Iran now. And so let me tell you a little bit about this, because this is the concept. The main concept is unity, connection. So here's Baha'u'llah. He's living in Persia. At the time, it's all the sultans, right? So you have all these rich, opulent sultans all around trying to dictate to the everyday people what they're supposed to do. The religion of the area was mostly Islam, right? So you have that's why everything is Allah, Abba, Nur Allah. You're getting all that the words of God from the Muslim tradition. So there was this movement that started with the Bab, and it was just about, this is about everybody has to wake up. Like, we can't keep living in this idea of servitude and hierarchy and one against the other, and we're really all God's children, and all of the different faiths, because if you see where Persia is on the map of the world, right, it's a crossroads, all different peoples coming in and out. It's in the Middle East, in the area there. So it's this idea of waking up to all of us in this together. Those are my words. But so they came up with this idea, and they wanted to spread it out and to really open up that each one of us needed to search within ourselves to answer the call that was in our own hearts. Remember I said at the beginning of the service that this idea has been going on for a long time, right? So then the Bab was killed. He was martyred, and he was killed by a firing squad. And they tried first time to kill him for a firing squad, and he was in front of the firing squad, and they shot, I think it was like 700 bullets at him, this huge firing squad, and he disappeared. And then for some way he escaped that firing squad, but came back to then taught more about this idea of unity and oneness, and then said someone will come after him. And then he went to another firing squad, and there he was killed. So now you have some of his followers, and you have this one, the Baha'u'llah, who was in the black pit. Okay, the black pit of Turin. Okay, you have to see how horrible, disgusting, what an awful, awful place to be imprisoned for his beliefs. Okay, that's where he was. He was imprisoned only for his beliefs, not because of any other thing. They were just going around and preaching this concept for the people that everybody was one. Women were equal to men. Oh my goodness. In one of their meetings, a woman came in and she didn't have her hijab on, and they all nearly fell down, even the ones that were saying women were equal to men. When the woman first walked into the room without being covered, they were in shock, right? So it was really about not just putting into words, but putting into action. So Baha'u'llah's in this pit, and he's down there, and what does he say? He dedicates his life, his beingness, his soul, his very essence to the divine. And what he talks about is what happened for him, is that his spirit opened up, and messages just poured through him, and even in that dark place, he felt illuminated. That's what we sang. That so powerful is this light, is this love of unity, of what's the greatest unity that we need to have, is us connecting to that divine spirit that is always being made manifest for us, this light of love that is here for us. That even in the black pit of Tehran, that this wondrous man now felt that love and that light and came into being with us, and only chose to hear that voice in his mind and spoke glorious, beautiful words of prayers and of lessons and of light to everyone, everywhere he went. Now, how does that work in your own life? I mean, think about it. Under much less horrific conditions, we are asked to do the same thing, to unify our beingness with a concept that is higher than us. That means get out of the way of my own sense of right and wrong, of my own sense of what I think the way things should be, and turn into this light, this love, and hear the message of unity, of unity, of oneness. Yes, he did get out of the black pit, but he was exiled, and he was constantly living his life with his family on the run, or going into one prison after the other prison, exiled or in prison, because everywhere he went there was another sultan that was there that didn't want everybody, all of the little people, hearing the words about how everybody is equal and how we have to love each other and have to be in unity with each other. And he was even bold enough to say, because the way that the smaller people were conditioned was through the religious, right? So then he said, let me tell you something, and that's been our words of wisdom. It's this concept in the Baha'i faith of progressive revelation. This idea that all throughout time, that the divine has been constantly trying to wake us up, and will wake us up for the right time and the right conditions in the right place for the people who need it at that time. So much so that every leader of every faith tradition is part of this oneness, this unity that we are all a part of. So every prophet is our prophet. Every word is our word as humanity, to uplift us, to move us to what we need. So this would include Abraham, it would include Zoroaster, it would include Moses, it would include Krishna, it would include Buddha, it would include, and it does, and the Baha'is always include all of their words and all of the wisdom, and think about it for the times and where they were living and what was going on. It includes Jesus, it includes Muhammad, it includes all of it being inclusive. And then they said, and now it is Baha'u'llah who is making this decree, and he is saying that we need to be one, that we are going to be connected. So you have in the 1860s, what are we doing here in the United States? We're in civil war at that time, right? We're fighting brother against brother, cousins against cousins. We are fighting with each other, killing each other, families breaking up over ideas, what I think is right. And here you have someone in the black pit saying, no, unity, light, illuminate your heart, connect with unity, with light and with love. And it's only through us accepting that and allowing for that. So the idea is that these prophets will continue to come once we make manifest all of the teachings of it. They haven't even translated all the teachings yet of Baha'u'llah, but there are still so many out there that are about this concept. The Baha'i faith is instrumental in starting the United Nations, and they are the only faith that sits on the General Assembly. Because they started it, they said we all have to get together to have conversations, to talk, because we are all in this together. This is how powerful this light of unity is. This is what this oneness is about. And it is so a message for us to hear today as brothers and sisters and family members and states and countries. Everybody is against each other and not finding a way to come back together, to be with each other, to unite again. We call ourselves the United States, and we are more divided than ever. This is not our spirituality. We need to come back to that voice for love that's in each and one of us. One of the writings of the Baha'u'llah says that, and I'll paraphrase, it's about, I have given you everything in this world, speaking for God. Saying, I've given you everything in this world for you to use. Everything is for you, everything. Except for one thing, your heart. The heart of every human being belongs to me. That heart should beat for me. That heart should know the love of me. So much so that the only thing that heart can do is to extend that love out to each and every being that it comes into contact with. Now, Baha'is don't even have clergy. They have leaders that they elect every time. There's 9 of them. We have our Baha'i symbol back here with our star of the 9-pointed. The temples, all the doors are open all around, saying everybody Come in. Come in and find your unity. Listen to the words of the Baha'u'llah calling for all of us. It is my inclination that we are at a time for a new prophet. It's been some time now since Baha'u'llah. But that prophet is you. It is no more following somebody else. Is that this divine presence needs to be made manifest so sincerely and so deeply in each and every one of our hearts that we come back to that saying of the Baha'u'llah and allow him to be in our hearts, to give our hearts back. All of the human hearts look the same. When we go for, someone looks on that list for a heart transplant, tell me your blood type that needs to match. The heart itself doesn't matter, right? One heart, one world, one love. This day, in celebration of Baha'u'llah, his wonderful teachings, in celebration of who we aspire to be in our highest place of beingness, our call this day is to find unity in your life. Where are you breaking up? Where are you judging? Where are you getting caught up? And know in that place, you have cut your heart off from the divine. Bring it back. Bring it back home to oneness, to unity, to love, because all of it is about love. So